Hey, wait, is this thing on? Oh, it is. Hey guys, this is editor agent here, and I just wanted to inform you that we have a new goal, and the new goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Yeah, I know it's a big goal from where we're at right now, but I believe in you, and you, the viewer, yeah, you. If you look down slightly, yeah, keep looking more. You see that? Yeah, that's the subscribe button. If you press it, you'll get notified about my videos and content. And every time I post, you will know about it. So yeah. And if you press the like button, you will show even more people about this spectacular content that you so love and enjoy. And also, just a random fact on the screen. There's just, new content that's going to come out when we reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm totally not spoiling anything, of course. But yeah, you know, editor editor agent, I guess, is probably writing some stuff on the screen. If he is, make sure you don't pay attention to it. Yeah, don't worry about it. I am not a sellout, by the way, so yeah, don't worry about what it says on the screen. Just completely ignore that. But yeah, I've wasted your time for enough. I've wasted your time enough. Unless you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, I'll wait. No, but like seriously, do it. Okay, so you probably did it by now. Back to your regularly scheduled program. What's up, guys? This is Agent What If, and I'm trying a new thing here with the Naruto story instead of My Hero Academia story. I hope you guys like it and enjoy the video. When Naruto was around 2 years old, he was really a child that was lonely. He always wanted to be around the other children, but the parents of those children always told him that he was not to be around their children under any circumstances since he was a bad influence. He never really understood why, but he didn't really care. The problem was he was lonely and he wanted to feel useful. He would always go to some of the villagers and ask them if there was anything he can do to try to improve his standing with them. He didn't like to be the one on the outcast, the one that was an outcast. But the villagers would always tell him that he was stupid and that he was and before they would say it, they would always stop and then they'd look terrified and have a sweat drop moment, and then they would just turn around and tell him to leave. And he never really understood this, and he always thought it was actually him that was the problem, and that they were stopping because they didn't want to look at him or talk to him. When he realized this, he began to think about how the fact that the villagers were always so rude and mean to him, and he never understood why. One day he decided to ask one of the villagers if he could, help him with anything, or if he was going to be able to do anything. And the villager, who had more tolerance than most, told him that he didn't need, and he'd stop again. And then he just turned around and he said, "Go away, stupid kid, before I get the rest of the villagers to come beat you. Everyone knows you deserve it. You might as well just go die. You're too stupid. You're useless. Go away." And as he began to walk away, Naruto thought to himself, "I'm not stupid." And Naruto then thought, these villagers don't want to have anything to do with me. And now that I understand that, I don't want to have anything to do with them. I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to make sure that they understand that I'm the best there is. And I'll always be the best there is. Naruto ran home as quickly as possible, closed his door, locked it, and sat on his bed. He started thinking to himself that he did want to be a ninja, so of course he had to study and at least get into the academy. So how was he going to do that? Naruto knew that at 2 years old, training wouldn't really do him any good. So he thought about his mental stability. Naruto wasn't really the brightest considering that he was Naruto, but Naruto thought to himself, okay, I need to do mental training then. I swear from this point on that I'll get smarter, as smart as I can before it's time to go. When Naruto began his mental training, he would play multiple games of like chess and shogi against himself, imaginarily of course. And he even started working on his perception and his memory and even the ways to look at a situation and find the most optimal route to escape, because the villagers still came after him a lot. And he started using this and started developing this ability so well that he could actually predict how the villagers would react. This is actually how he ended up eating on a consistent basis. He would know how to steal from the villagers because of the fact that he knew their patterns and their reactions. So he knew that he could steal from them, and they wouldn't even know he had stolen from them. They wouldn't even see it. They would just know that something was stolen. And that since they couldn't really blame Naruto because of the fact that the third Hokage basically told them not to mess with him, and because everyone else's child was in a clan or was just, from a respected enough family to the point where accusing someone's child of stealing it without any evidence would probably put them somewhere they didn't want to be. So Naruto was able to eat on a very consistent basis without actually starving. And Naruto's developed his awareness to the point where he could even predict the overall reactions and thought processes of all of the villagers, even so far as mapping out how they will all go throughout their entire day. Being able to move through the village without being caught by a mob or anything with ease. Naruto had learned the village like the back of his hand, and he'd also become a lot smarter. He taught himself to basically think of the situation as the best possible route to escape at all times and to always be on guard. This kept Naruto on his toes, which made it easy for him to progress mentally. He even learned this trick so well that he'd actually sneak into the library when the librarian wasn't looking or was off and would read books. He'd always take them home and read them. They were typically about chakra and about certain jutsus because of the fact that he wanted to go to the academy. Naruto had to figure out what his chakra natures were first, and he grabbed a book about it. When Naruto used the piece of paper, he found out that he actually had wind release, which was rare and powerful. He thought that this fitted him perfectly because of the fact that Naruto was powerful, or was going to be it at least. He then picked up one of the wind scrolls that he got because he brought all of the chakra nature jutsu scrolls because he wanted to make sure. He picked up one of the wind scrolls, and the first jutsu that was in there was Wind Bullet. Naruto thought that this would be perfect for him. It was simple and it was powerful. Naruto then, after learning the jutsu, would always practice it once he left. He wanted to make sure he was proficient in the jutsu to the point where he had learned it well enough to defend himself. He didn't know much about chakra, and since his chakra was very unstable and had no control, he did have to learn some of that. It took him quite a while, but around the time when he joined the academy, he had about almost learned how to use Wind Bullet perfectly. And Naruto, having studied and learned so much before he even went to the academy, was obviously a straight A student. His physical capabilities were all that was lacking at this point, due to no training, of course. But while in the academy, he started doing some minor training, just enough to strengthen himself. Sorry for the pause, but I'm back now. After Naruto's been in the academy for a little while, really on his first day, when he walks in, he notices that everyone's staring at him. But this time, it isn't like the villager stares. They aren't they're death glares. They're just stares of curiosity. Naruto makes his way to the most available open seat and sits down. Everyone immediately turns their head to him. He then puts his head down, being kind of nervous, but not really wanting to look directly in their eyes. When Haruka notices this, and he basically tells everyone to pay attention, and he continues with his lesson. Sasuke, however, looked at Naruto weirdly, but then turned around. After a while, Naruto and Sasuke were had the highest grades in the class. This made them have a rivalry, since they both really wanted to be the top dog in the class. Of course, Sasuke had his fangirls, and Naruto had a couple, but he really didn't care about his having fangirls. Naruto really wasn't interested in anybody, at least, relationship-wise. He really didn't care. He had a point to prove, and nothing was going to stop him. He did have Hinata as an admirer, though, and Ino as well. But Naruto really didn't care. Once we basically skip to when there's the graduation ceremony, Naruto essentially is called, and he walks down, going to the front. He's told by Iruka to create a clone. Naruto does create a clone. He creates two successfully. Sasuke, seeing this, is called next. He goes down and creates a perfect clone as well, trying to show up Naruto. Naruto pays no mind and continues walking down his seat. Iruka then tells them to meet them tomorrow, and they'll be assigned to their teams. Then we time skip to tomorrow. When tomorrow finally arrives, Naruto has arrived in the class, and he sees that actually most of the people are gone, and no one's there except Sakura, Sasuke, and himself. He notices this and then walks over to Sakura and asks her if their sensei is here. She then says, "How do you know we're on the same team?" And Naruto then says, "Well, we're the only ones left, and since every not ninja, squad includes 3 Genin and typically 1 Jonin, of course we're going to be on the same squad. So it makes sense, or team at least." Sakura then remembers this and says, "Oh, yeah." Sasuke gives him a glare, and Naruto glares back and sits down. A couple hours pass, and Kakashi finally gets here. Naruto, looking angry, as well as everyone else, asks Kakashi what took him so long. Kakashi then puts his hands up, giving an eye smile, saying, "I was just a little lost on the journey of life." Naruto then says, "That's impossible. You're a Jonin. You got here late because you didn't feel like getting up. Is that it?" Kakashi then looks at Naruto, thinking to himself, and then saying, "Whatever, I'm here now, so meet me up top. We're gonna talk." And then he disappears. Naruto gets up along with Sasuke. Sakura gets up as well, walking behind Sasuke. Naruto is the first to open the door and come out front. He sits down along with Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke's goals are to basically beat 2 certain people. Sakura's are the same, and Naruto's are quite different actually. Naruto's goals in life is to become the strongest shinobi in the Hidden Leaf and to be the best there is at everything there is. He didn't really care too much, Kakashi, about these answers, but they were decent. They were told to meet him tomorrow early in the morning and not to eat breakfast. Naruto wakes up the next day and begins to walk outside. He starts walking through the village and eventually goes to the training ground, meeting Sasuke and Sakura. He then asks if Kakashi is late again, and they both nod yes. Naruto then gets angry and begins to sit down and says that if he's not here yet, I'm going to take a nap. "Wake me when he comes, okay, Sakura?" Sakura says okay, and Sasuke looks at Sakura rudely, and then she basically just turns her head, starts blushing. A couple hours pass and Kakashi finally gets there. Once Kakashi's finally here, he is then told by, Naruto and everyone else that he's stupid for being late and that this really has to stop if they're going to be a good team. Kakashi then says, "I'll try to be more on time," giving an eye smile. He then tells them that their instruction is to take these 2 belts from him, and whichever participant doesn't get a belt will be sent back to the academy. Naruto immediately sees through this. His training in mental capabilities and observation, and his knowledge just in general, won't allow him to accept this as truth. He then begins to say something, but then is quiet. He then walks over to Sasuke and then whispers something in his ear. And he also whispers something in Sakura's ear. Then, after Kakashi finishes telling him, "Okay, is your strategy meeting over?" Naruto then says yes. Kakashi then says, "Well, okay, the test has officially begun." They all scatter. Naruto explains to Sasuke that he knows Wind Bullet. And what does Sasuke know? Sasuke then says that he knows Fireball. Naruto says, "How convenient." This should be good. He asks Sakura if she has anything useful to add, and she pretty much just says no. Naruto says, "Well, then you'll be the distraction." Sakura then gets really, really, really scared, on having a really scared look on her face, saying, "What? I can't be the distraction." And then Naruto says, relax, this is a test. He's not gonna kill you or anything. And even if he wanted to, he can't. So yeah, just calm down. At most, you're probably gonna have a couple bruises. You'll be alright. Sasuke doesn't pay attention, Naruto doesn't either, and Naruto explains the plan. So Sakura jumps out in front of Kakashi, and Kakashi slowly turns to her. She then runs at him with a kunai, trying to attack him. Then Kakashi easily dodges, and she starts swinging wildly, trying to hit him, and Kakashi just thinks to himself, this is actually pathetic. Is this the best they have? And then that's when Naruto jumps down. He throws 3 kunai, and Kakashi catches all of them. Naruto starts circling around him, and then he dashes forward towards him. But immediately, before Kakashi even attacks, Naruto just steps back, and this shook Kakashi for a second, not expecting him to retreat without even attacking first. Naruto then jumps into the air using Wind Bullet. And Kakashi jumps out of the way, grabbing onto Sakura, and then that's when Sasuke then uses his fireball straight out of the trees. Naruto then uses another Wind Bullet to enhance the fireball. And Kakashi basically knows that if he drops Sakura, she's gonna get hit by this, and she won't survive. He grits his teeth, turns his back while holding on to Sakura, and gets hit full force with the entirety of the combined jutsu. Naruto and Sasuke both dash forward. Naruto coming from below and Sasuke coming from above. They both meet Kakashi in the middle, and Naruto grabs onto Kakashi's legs, and that's when Sasuke grabs onto his back and takes the bells. He pushes off of Kakashi, landing, and Naruto says mission accomplished. Sakura is then let go by a very injured Kakashi at this point. And then Sasuke basically throws the bells to Naruto and Sakura. Kakashi's weakly basically just says, you guys win, but that plan of yours, what if it had backfired? Sakura could have really been injured by your attack, Naruto. Naruto then says, I trusted in the fact that you wouldn't allow one of your genin to die. So, do we pass? And then Kakashi would begrudgingly say, yes, you do pass. But did you really have to go that far? It really hurt. And Naruto then scratches his head saying, sorry about that. But since you're our sensei, maybe you can teach us something that would be better. He says, great, whatever. I'm gonna go home. And I think that's where we're gonna end this episode. If you guys enjoyed it or want to see more Naruto content in general, just let me know by watching the video, leaving a like or commenting. If I missed anything, sorry about that. This is one of my first times ever making a Naruto what if. So in the next video, I'll basically fill in any gaps that I have. So yeah, with all that being said, peace.